do some expert work. Looking at the substitutes bench, you have a number of good players. The number 17, noticeable standout, Romeo Wright. He's expected to come in the contest when things get grimy and do some damage. He would have started last game, but he was now starting on the bench.
All right, we're getting ever so closer to the start of the game. You're looking at the St. Elizabeth Technical High School traveling supporters from all the way from Santa Cruz and wherever else they come in St. Elizabeth to support their team. We're going to go for another break as we continue the build-up to the opening game in the semi-final day here at Sabina Park in Flow Super Cup 2017. Calabar against Tets is what we have up next.
You're watching the Flow Super Cup live on Flow Sports. The Flow Super Cup is brought to you by...
Enjoy.
You're watching the Flow Super Cup live on Flow Sports. The Flow Super Cup is brought to you by...
Oh, without you now, this is what it feels like.
It starts with you, Scotiabank.
Welcome back to Sabina Park. The Calabar faithful are out in their black and green. Of course, they were thrown a lifeline in Montego Bay, and a lifeline meaning for the rest of their season as they look to end with a silverware. Those are here early, Kingston College people. They're coming up at 7 tonight. They take on Jamaica College, the first winners of the Flow Super Cup right here at this very same venue at Sabina Park. So a sprinkling of colors right across Sabina Park as the respective fans get ready to support their team. The Kingston College
North Street, as we know it, we're here at Sabina Park, which is not really far from where Kingston College is. And they want to see possibly who they may face. Again, when you talk to a lot of Kingston College people, they're probably seeing this contest as being the tougher one. And then depending on who goes through, they may see themselves. So Calabar versus Tets is always going to be a tough encounter. And then just watching some good football here at Sabina Park, it's always made for the fans. So as you can see, a whole lot of people supporting, people in their numbers, not only adults, but a lot of students here.
All right, so the FIFA Fair Play flag being accompanied by 4 ball boys making their way onto this lush green Sabina Park pitch. Of course, it's known as the cricket mecca of Jamaica and one of the best known cricket facilities in the world. Sir Garfield Sobers once held the world test batting record here of 365, broke by Brian Lara in 1994 and again 4 years later. So it's a rich history here at Sabina Park. That little stand that you're seeing behind us, behind you in gold, that's where we're perched, right with the well. the camera that's at the top of the pile, we're just below that one. So just to give you an idea of where we are, bringing to you this outstanding fixture, Calabar versus St. Elizabeth Technical. Calabar in black and green, away to the left of screen there they are. They shocked the country last week by beating Clarendon College by 4-3. Owen, is it a situation where now they've beaten Clarendon College, they must now come down and realize that, yes, we're at the big dance?
Well, definitely they have to understand that. Clearly you don't want to have a team not riding on the high. So last week they did very well. The conditions pretty much allowed for them to play that sort of football, counter-attacking, and then do some damage, got the better of the Clarendon College team that was expected to go all the way. Probably a lot of people said the best schoolboy football team in the island. Calabar, on the other hand, they played a measured game, and I think it made mention of the fact that they did what they were supposed to do, and now this is the semi-final. So last week is behind them. They have a different competition in front of them instead. Let's see what they'll do.
All right, so we're looking at the meeting party going across. We're noticing the two principals at the back of the queue. Albert Kordacher in the green for Calabar, clearly. Keith Wellington just in front of him. And of course, we're also noticing Andre Roper from KFC is also there. And of course, Kim Lee from Flo is also there. Nicola Francis from Coca-Cola. And of course, sponsorship and retail manager up at Flo, that's Kim Lee. Of course, Michaela Francis from Coca-Cola is there as well. Andre Roper in the black cap is also pretty much there. Lauren Mafrood from Fresh is also there in the gold. And Trudy Market from Pringles. And that completes, of course, the official meeting party for this semi-final one on a very, very warm and bright day here at Sabina Park. If you look behind the players, you notice the cricket pitches there. It's not covered at the moment, but I suppose it will not be too affected. It can't be covered clearly, but it won't be affected, I'm sure, based on how they roll it. All right, so the meeting party is leaving the field, and now the St. Elizabeth Technical team just going across to meet their opponents, and of course the officials as well. And we're just minutes away from the start of this game. Veralton Nemard will be the man in charge of the game. He's from St. James, and he'll be assisted by Jaron Porteous from Hanover and O.J. Doheny, also from St. James, and of course Sean Wright, also from St. James, the fourth official. So it's an all-Western cast of officials who will be taking charge of Calabar versus St. Elizabeth Technical. Owen, what are you expecting?
Well, I'm expecting a slugfest win, and it's not necessarily the most admirable of games that you'd probably want to see, because these two teams don't necessarily score a lot of goals. They're not a free-flowing team in either one of them. So when you look at the St. Elizabeth Technical team, it's not what we're accustomed to seeing of yesteryears, but they have high-quality firepower in their lineup. So Demar James is expected to do some damage, but also on the green and black end, they're expecting a whole lot from their big burly striker, the number 11, Colin Anderson.
Yeah, and let's spend a little bit more time with the St. Elizabeth Technical team, because you just mentioned Demar James, without question, their most influential striker, possibly the most influential striker in all of the Costa Cup. He also has Premier League experience as well.
Certainly Premier League experience, and he is inserted in the lineup. Omar Wedderburn understanding time players out on the park. Last week he tried out with Romeo Wright, and Romeo didn't necessarily give him the goods that he wanted. Obviously coming off an injury, that's Romeo. He wasn't the typical Romeo. Normally what we're accustomed to seeing him do is to wear down the defenders. He did that, but then now you have Demar James coming in, a more proven goal scorer. His size, his length is always going to be necessary, and then when you have strong, solid defenders going up against, he's definitely going to be a main man in attack for St. Elizabeth Technical.
All right, so we're all set for Calabar versus St. Elizabeth Technical. A blue chip day, a premium semi-final afternoon here at Sabina Park. All the formalities are now out of the way. It's over to 22 football players and 4 officials to take charge of what the supporters here, and they've been out in their numbers, considering that there you have him, Omar Rambo Wedderburn.
Pre-game ritual normally starts out that way.
There you go. And he's going to stay that way until the end of the game. I promise you, every time the camera pans to him, he's going to be right there. Well, except for halftime, clearly. He can't be there halftime. But he's going to be holding that posture for a very, very, very long time, for as long as he possibly can.
His vantage point, Wayne, he likes to start from that position, probably just looking at what the game is about to offer, probably assessing how his opponents is lining up, and he understands all too well, because he's a very competent coach. We can't stress the amount of experience he has at this level, and St. Elizabeth Technical is always there at the Final Four in most seasons. So pretty much a comfortable position for Stets.
So Veralton Nemhard, the man in charge of this afternoon's game, getting ready to get us underway here for semi-final 1. A multicolored ball spot in the middle of the park, and Calabar, the boys from 61 Red Hills Road, they've gotten us underway. And what a game we have in a prospect here this afternoon. We're just waiting to see how it unfolds. St. Elizabeth Technical taking early charge in their half of the field. Stroking the ball around nicely. Well, it's over on the far side now with Nicholas Nelson. He gets a start tonight. It's a lush, green, level playing surface here at Sabina Park. The atmosphere is also good. And with the spectators being so close to the players, it also provides that extra bit of spice. This is Cassandra Dixon, the captain for St. Elizabeth Technical. Very sturdy in midfield. Nelson getting on many looks at the game. Tajay Palmer, the number 14, had a good game in Montego Bay, just bustled off the ball on that occasion. Now Calabar takes the opportunity to launch their first attack. California Brown, the man who got the first goal in the Flow Cup this year, and looking to get on the score sheet early.
Interesting play by Orion Ferguson. That was made by him, that number 10 player for Calabar. Very slick, decisive player down that left-hand side. He just slides past defenders very easy. He's comfortable on the football. Just a bounce that got the better of him, and that probably could have been a shot on goal for Calabar, but no, we see a Calabar player down.
With less than 2 minutes gone in the game, first stoppage, and it is enough to attract the attention of the medical personnel from Calabar. There's a DW, that's an OW, Omar Wedderburn, they call him Rambo, and that's Lidge Seju Sims, the coach of Calabar High School, also coaches at the Premier League level here in Jamaica as well. And we just want to say good afternoon to you, or welcome to wherever you are taking our coverage, wherever down you are, down the region on Flow Sports, and we welcome you to semi-final day here at Sabina Park in Jamaica. So the Calabar player, DeAndre Burrows, back up on his feet, just walking away. Seems going to be okay.
Looked like he got a knock in the mouth, that area, just, you know, washing out that space. And obviously as a footballer, nobody wants to get that touch. He seems to be comfortable. Hopefully all 32 is intact. As you see that he went down, wow, you know, he had a very unfortunate bounce and, you know, awkwardly placed on the ground, but he's up, good for him, and he's now on the sideline looking to go back on.
Free kick to St. Elizabeth Technical. It's going to be struck by Tajay Green, and he curls it. Easy hold there for the Calabar custodian, DeAndre McCoy. No problems at all. So early touch of the football there by McCoy, and the free kick just swirling in the air there from Tajay Green. Caused no problems whatsoever for the custodian in the Calabar cage. So early feeding on process, if you like, for these two teams. Calabar raiding on the left side of the field, looking for openings, none available. Still they continue. Now the boys from Santa Cruz taking the opportunity to take possession. Just now Tajay Palmer got a touch of it, and he flicks it forward, and looking for Tajay Green, the man who just struck the free kick. But Calabar will have none of it. Colin Anderson got a brace in Mobay last Friday night, and we'll be looking for at least one tonight to get things going. But here's St. Elizabeth Technical coming forward. Demar James, very dangerous player. Hasn't seen any football in the last 2 weeks, and he's anxious to get things going.
Certainly anxious, and that was a shot that epitomized anxiety. Could have done way better. Had enough space in front of him to dribble that one. Got a good pass from his deep line central midfielder, that's Cassandra Dixon, and I thought that James could have done better. A left-footed player, quite confident, and probably just want to get that rust off his foot.
Ball overhit. This is Clifton Woodbine. Very good defensive work there by Woodbine. Picks out Javid Richards. James. Dixon. Good sharing of the football by Stets, the captain and his most valuable striker in concert. Now they brought Woodbine into the mix. Nelson over on the far side also getting a touch. Good sharing of the football, nice on the eyes here from St. Elizabeth Technical, and the ball is into James in a danger area. Very alert defending by Calabar. The danger is not yet out of their way. And they're struggling to get the ball away. Eventually, Calabar gets it away via Roshane Williams.
James would have wanted back that one that was beautifully played. He actually started the counter-attack, and that was played across. Any defender seeing a ball coming like that, it's going to be difficult for them to control. But DeAndre Bowers, he actually averted whatever danger there was. Stets would have wanted back that one.
So early warning shots there by St. Elizabeth Technical. First it was a free kick. Now they made another foray into the Calabar 18-yard area. Be warned, I suppose is a message from the boys from Santa Cruz. They're up for this tonight, as I'm sure Calabar is as well. Woodbine. Nelson. Captain Dixon is brought into the play in the center of midfield for St. Elizabeth Technical. James has got to be a watchman tonight. Calabar, I'm sure, having done their research, would have known exactly what he's capable of. Richards, now to James. One step over there. Stets having the freedom of Sabina Park, just chucking the ball around. This is very nice. They've put together no fewer than 12 passes so far, and still they continue. So Calabar, happy just to sit around and watch the St. Elizabeth Technical team playing the ball around. They're not anywhere near their danger area, so no alert or no panic just yet. Here they come again, St. Elizabeth. D'Angelo Brown goes forward. Smart play by Calabar. Allows St. Elizabeth Technical to keep possession, but as soon as they get to the danger area, they intervene.
Certainly, St. Elizabeth Technical comfortable using the width of the pitch here at Sabina Park, doing enough damage and then looking to spray one over the top.
James looking like a sprinter, but Tariq Reed proving more than a match for him. In fact, Tariq Reed was always favourite to get there ahead of the lanky James. The throw taken quickly by St. Elizabeth Technical, and now they get the first corner of the game. So Stets, they're puffing and puffing. Just about 6, approaching 7 minutes gone in semi-final 1 here at Sabina Park. It's Flow Super Cup day.
A lot of touches by James so far in the contest. He seems to be the man that they want to get in on the action here. And then he's comfortably getting into his rhythm, finding his touches. But Reed is going to have a whole lot on his hands. Off note though, and we must point out that there's a shift in strategy by Calabar right now. Their strong central defender, he's now being employed in the midfield. That may cause some problems.
6 in the box waiting on the delivery. It was a poor one, but they get it back. They get a second bite of the cherry.
Trying to go near post, but controlled or properly dealt with by Calabar, because they would have understood that there are some strong, tall players coming in for Stets.
Here they do it again. Still 6 in the box waiting on the delivery. Much better. Still in the danger area. Calabar having problems getting it away. St. Elizabeth Technical players lurking. The danger has been averted. But just because, no question, the ball is going to come back in the area. And it finds the left foot of the danger man, James. His effort just going wide. Lots of freedom. Why did he get such freedom to shoot?
Again, that was a ball played across, sprayed to Jamar James. Should have done better. Second time asking. Came from a corner, not dealt with properly by Calabar. They tried to clear their lines. Instead, it got to James. I thought he could have done way more justice to that one. Could have probably pushed it about 2 inches more or so and then get a better shot. It was a horrid attempt. In the end, it was just dragged wide, and then Calabar whiskering away. Pretty much don't want to give Jamar James those sort of opportunities.
James is coming deep for it. Here he is, the number 23, made famous by a basketball player, Michael Air Jordan. The 10 is what you want in football. If you play basketball, you want the 23. Woodbine in 7. His captain 3 numbers above. Cassandra Dixon in 10. And James 13 numbers above still. St. Elizabeth Technical, one of the things you want as a footballer, Owen, in games like these and games that have very slim margins, is to feel the football at your feet every time. And St. Elizabeth Technical is doing a very good job of it. They're spreading it wide, they're coming in the midfield, they're flicking it over, they're doing everything.
Clearly playing to a coach's instruction. I spoke to Omar Wedderburn earlier, and he said that expect the fireworks from Stets. They're accustomed to seeing them play the ball around, getting touches and getting players in on the action, and I think so far they've done that.
Calabar, they've been basically quiet, just happy to sit around and watch Stets do their thing. Now they look like they want to do as well. Got Fallen Brown, the number 8, just laying the ball off and looking for a pass. He doesn't get it. And a shot in angle there coming from Colin Anderson. Wow. Nothing from Calabar until now.
Colin Anderson just hitting his thigh, knowing that that was an opportunity for him to actually silence the crowd here. Getting a ball which was tried to play out by Stets. He did the right thing. Turn, had a one-time shot. He was aiming for that top left-hand corner of the goalkeeper. In the end, it was a little bit over the top, but that's positive signs from Calabar, just responding to what Stets would have been doing.
Long ball in the area by Woodbine. Controlled nicely there by James. Just didn't really get the ball down as much as he wanted, but the first touch wasn't bad. If
you're Coach Liz for Calabar, you should be wondering what's happening with their defense. James is getting too many touches in free areas. Nobody really marking a danger man like him.
And he floats. One moment he's on the left, the next he's on the right. The next moment he's in the middle of the park. And as we said in Mobay last week, it's difficult to mark players like those who move around the park so often.
What that suggests, Wayne, is that you need more concentration. So they're playing a back three, more like a two markers and a sweeper. Tariq Reed, he's a sweeper for Calabar. He now needs to understand his role, filtering in those positions and clearing out whatever that comes to him.
Fallen Brown, a little careless and a little clumsy there, allowing the St. Elizabeth technical Denroy Miller to take the ball off him. Calabar called upon to defend once more. Here's the captain of Calabar High School, Hakeem McCoy.
Normally plays centre back, but now he's deployed in the central midfield role. Not as mobile, but I would suggest that his tactic being employed right there is to break up whatever plays Calabar would have had to deal with.
Ferguson playing it in the pathway of Colin Anderson. Now Calabar forced back. Brendan Freckleton with a delightful pass. Just a bit too much on it. Was this too much to ask of Rashane Williams to get to that one?
Too much weight on that pass. The intention was there, just trying to curl that one over the top. Freckleton, he's one of the midfield generals. He's the one that passes the ball a lot for Calabar, and he was expecting to get his number 18 player, Rashane Williams, on this right side, an opportunity to swing one in.
So I'm sure when we get a chance to look at the possession percentage, we'll see that St. Elizabeth Technical is not only shading it, they're bossing it actually. But Calabar, they're playing an intelligent game of football. They don't allow their players to meet the Stets players in the middle of the park. They allow them to come midway their half, and then they intervene. They break up attacks and look to hit on the counter. Here's James. He's seen a lot of the football since the start of this game. McCoy. Williams. Here's Ferguson. Nice spin. Will he shoot? No. He leaves it to Brown. Brown plays it in. The first touch there of Colin Anderson let him down. That really was a good opportunity to take the lead, Calabar.
Second time asking Colin Ferguson. He's expected to be in those positions, but a little bit more careful with those touches. Clearly that was a 1-2 played between the lines, and it shows some vulnerability in the Stets attack. Every time they go forward, it leaves gaps for them. Wonderful
turn from Tajay Palmer. Plays in James. James's attempted pass into the box. Cut out there by Calabar. And still they come. So 6 or 7% ball possession for St. Elizabeth Technical and the rest. Out of 100, which is 33%. So the boys in green shorts, black stocking, and black jerseys. Anderson, the number 11, very strong player, also very dangerous player. He serves them better when he's in the 18-yard area, but he was forced wide. Orain Ferguson. Calabar taking time now to share the ball and play it around. Very nice turn there. Good move by Brendan Freckleton. James for Stets. Twisting this way, then that. Woodbine brought into the play. Captain out wide on the left, surveying his options. Tries to pick out James. Alex Thompson also wants to get involved in the mix-up as well, but the Calabar defense alive and alert to the danger, and they cut it out ever so nicely. 14 approaching 15 minutes gone. Semi-final 1, Flow Super Cup 2017. wherever you are watching in Flow Sports, right around the region, we welcome you once again. And it's Calabar against St. Elizabeth Technical. One team playing in the semi-final for the first time. In fact, one team playing in this competition for the first time. The other know the lay of the land. They've been here before. And here they are. St. Elizabeth Technical again. Another of their crosses cut out. So Calabar, despite one or two hurried clearances and shape of panic in their defensive area, when they've settled a little bit. Have I spoken too early?
Questionable play. Ball played over the top. Excellent pass. Properly weighted by the number 10 player, Chris Andrew Dixon. He seems to be that decisive player. Tries to get the ball from his back four all the way up to the top two. And it was a beautifully weighted pass. The number 4 player had no clue. Giovanni Thomas for Calabar. And I think it was just a shade a little bit in the space of the goalkeeper, comfortably coming and collecting DeAndre McCoy for Calabar. He seems to be a little bit injured in the process, got clipped by the attacker, but then it's good intention. And you mentioned it, Wayne, Calabar is responding well. They haven't given up much, but St. Elizabeth Technical, even though they've been bossing possession, Calabar is playing a very measured game.
And that's what you want. You want to make sure that when the team is bossing possession, that's all they have. There's a slight difference between possession and progression. And despite the possession that St. Elizabeth Technical have had since the start of the game, we've not really seen a really clear shot on goal just yet.
And as we've seen, actually, Calabar would have had some of the better opportunities. That was a clip there by the number 19 player for Stets, Denron Miller. He's playing on that right-hand side. And what they're trying to do, St. Elizabeth Technical, is to move the ball from left to right, get the players in the wide spaces, in on the action, and probably catch Calabar in that space. But so far, Tariq Reed has been a rock in defense for Calabar. Seems to be cutting out every single cross, every single opportunity that presents itself to Stets. And he's about 6 foot, or probably 5'6" rather, nowhere near 6.
So we get a resumption. Having a little halt there to attend to the injured Calabar goalkeeper, DeAndre McCoy. All's well that ends well. And the lights are shining down brightly on these players. Lots of football to be played here. The Calabar number 8, Kafali Brown. He has the distinction of being the first goal scorer in the Flow Super Cup 2017.
Brought down in a very dangerous position. We see the captain now holding possession of the football. He strikes them well. Again, Kalfani with a very good touch. His number 12 opponent bringing him down, Javed Richardson. But now we see the number 20, McCoy, standing over it. He packs a very strong punch in that left foot. He's probably going direct at goal.
He's almost dead center. The 3-man wall in front of him. Left-footed directly towards the St. Elizabeth Technical goal. But nothing to trouble the goalkeeper, Kenwar Wallace. And we know what the captain for Calabar is capable of. Akeem McCoy, we saw him. He struck about 2 or 3 of those in Mobay last week, Friday, against Clarendon College. But on that occasion, that left-footed effort,
you want to get that up and over. He was going direct. Again, the intention was just to try sneak it to that far side of the goalkeeper. But again, it was always curving wide. And as you know, Wayne, depending on how you kick the football, it may swerve to different directions. And just now, he got the outside.
Calabar is capable of. Akeem McCoy, we saw him. He struck about 2 or 3 of those in Mobay last week, Friday, against Clarendon College. But on that occasion, that left-footed effort,
you want to get that up and over. He was going direct. Again, the intention was just to try sneak it to that far side of the goalkeeper. But again, it was always curving wide. And as you know, Wayne, depending on how you kick the football, it may swerve to different directions. And just now, he got the outside.
St. Elizabeth Technical, once more. Javed Richards. Calabar's turn to launch an attack. Williams cuts inside, then out. Decides to use the right channel. Will he get the cross in? Cut out. Still Calabar. Brendan Freckleton. Back to Williams, Rasheen Williams. Ball is played in to Brown. Kicked over on the edge of the area. The Calabar fans are calling for a free kick. Not so says referee. And a throw-in one here by Calabar. Taken very, very quickly. Kicked over there that time was O'Rain Ferguson. He too was looking for a free kick. But referee Nemard says no. The flag belatedly went up.
Calabar just trying to muster something down that left-hand side. Had an opportunity, probably could have sliced one open, but some meaty challenges coming in. St. Elizabeth Technical, the players in defense for Stets, they're showing that they're taking no prisoners here today.
Approaching 20 minutes. Almost midway the first half. Goalkeeper McCoy, if there was any concern about whether he has recovered from that injury or not, there you've got the evidence.
A shot from way out, Alex Thompson trying to get in on the action, and he is one of those players that breaks free from midfield. Again, saw the goalkeeper off his line, probably wanted to test him from distance, but it was a weak effort.
Colin Anderson took his eyes off the ball for a split second. And there was St. Elizabeth Technical number 5, D'Angelo Brown, taking it off him. A crowded shot! That one came in there from O'Rain Ferguson. Cut inside. Very dangerous player. Got on the score sheet in Mobile last week. Almost did just now.
A player who have a whole lot of time for Wayne. As you see, he pretty much understood where he was. That stutter step got by the defender, understanding that he's now with an opportunity to kick on target, and had Kenwar Wallace diving all the way to his left. Really wasn't covered, but just sliced wide.
Calabar, they are now at the party. They took a little while to settle, but they've gotten their game together.
The drums are here rolling in, and I think they're responding well to that.
Now they're here, now they're playing. Now St. Elizabeth Technical will know that they are in a game. And I can tell you, even before seeing it, that the ball possession percentage has changed drastically. St. Elizabeth Technical probably still with the advantage, but Calabar, they are here, and we're seeing them now.
Again, one of the teams of this competition that plays very compact. Calabar doesn't give up a lot of opportunities. They play very tight, and they have strong, solid players who will go in a lot of challenges. So St. Elizabeth Technical, if they're going to get anything from this contest win, they now have to start or continue like how they started, where they use the ball and try to pull defenders out, spread the ball in areas that will allow for a problem for Calabar to really stay in shape, because if they don't do that, then it's going to be difficult for them to break down this green and black team.
Ferguson, well, just slipping away from him. Brilliant tackle there from St. Elizabeth Technical.
Strong, solid challenge coming in from the Stets player, understanding that this was dangerous for him. Very good ball played over the top. Initially, we saw one of those balls being played earlier in the contest. This one was a better one, more measured. But in the end, the number 18 player for Calabar, he actually was a little bit too late, Rasheen Williams, now with a throw.
In the box for St. Elizabeth Technical, a chance from 6 yards out, Giovanni Thomas. Wow.
Again, second time of asking. Shows that there are some inconsistencies in defense for St. Elizabeth Technical. They seem to get flustered every time something is thrown at them, and this one was a long, deep throw. The Woodbine came, did clear well. The ball fell to their number 4 player, Giovanni Thomas, albeit a defender, but should have done better with that one.
I was just about to ask if a striker or a forward or an out-and-out forward player would have done better, you reckon, because he had time. He looked at it before he kicked it, which meant he had time to do it. And what an opportunity for Calabar. Now St. Elizabeth Technical not looking as sprightly as they did in the first 5 or 6 minutes of the game, and almost looking as if they're playing to the gallery by just choking the ball around. The Calabar players are now getting more involved, getting to them at the halfway line. They didn't do that in the early stages of the game, and because of that, you're not seeing as many forward movements into the 18-yard area from St. Elizabeth Technical as you did in the early stages of the game. Instead, what you're seeing now is Calabar going forward a lot more.
Calabar playing a very measured game. We started out the contest by saying this is the game plan for Calabar. They were feeling out what Stets had to offer. Stets came with some good forays into the Calabar defense, but they maneuvered their way, and now they're playing a disciplined game, understanding that Stets have a whole lot of firepower, but not overcommitting, and that's what we see from the defenders of Calabar.
So one moment it looks as if Calabar is playing three at the back. This is James for St. Elizabeth Technical, looking for a cross. Didn't get it because Tariq Reed, who has an outstanding game so far, we've only played 24 minutes and we're talking about outstanding. Such has been the performance of Tariq Reed. He's broken up most of the St. Elizabeth Technical attack that come into his 18-yard area. Corner.
He seems to be the one in that defensive zone that is given the responsibility, playing that sweeper position. We said that they're playing three at the back, but he's playing in that more reclined position, and he's the one talking and getting a whole lot of those challenges in.
Tajay Green, another poor corner, but he gets a second bite because the Calabar number 18 Rasheen Williams didn't deal with it as efficiently as I'm sure coach Litchaju Sims would want.
His fourth corner from this side. Hopefully he gets this one in better.
He has a number of blue and white shirts waiting in the area on this delivery again. It looked as if it was going out, but it stayed in, and it surprised even the St. Elizabeth Technical players. Nelson. Dixon trying to flick it forward, trying to pick out the man in the number 18 for St. Elizabeth Technical, Tajay Green. Busy little player as well. James. Thompson. Dixon, the captain, turns away, looking for better passing options. Oh. that was for the fans. The coach will have a problem with that, James.
He's now just signaling to his captain that, you know, I tried something, it didn't work out, but that's what you want in the attacking positions to do.
Here's Orain Ferguson, a very dangerous player. Still Ferguson, looking for a shot, but it's not there. What he does now. Now he gets the shot. That was on his mind from the moment he picked the ball up, and come what may, he was going to get it off.
A dangerous player. We spoke about him at the start of the contest. Calabar looks to him. Now he's employed in that attacking number 10 role. A little bit selfish again, but the minute he got the ball, he understood that there was no help for him and he wanted to go all the way. The players have to respect this type of player because he seems to get on the football a whole lot and gets by players effortlessly.
Nicely done there by Rasheen Williams. It didn't come off completely. But as you rightly say, Owen, fans come to games to see stuff like those. This is Nelson in the middle of the park. He has the freedom of Sabina Park. He elects to play it full. Very, very sturdy. Had a good game against Stats in Mobay. And so far having a decent one with just, 27 minutes gone, approaching 28 in the first half of this semi-final one of the Flow Super Cup 2017, the Champions League over schoolboy football. Giovanni, Thomas, and Tariq Reed are doing very, very well in the Calabar defense. Woodbine was scored the penalty which brought St. Elizabeth Technical back into the game against Stats in Mobay last week and couldn't score from the spot in the shootout. His team managed to get in anyway. Good movement here by St. Elizabeth Technical. He's trying there to beat one player too many. Was Javid Richards. Earns for his team a throw.
St. Elizabeth Technical seems to get a whole lot down that right-hand side. Questionable times for Calabar, because whenever they break down the team, even though the number 10 player is employed on that side, Orion Ferguson, he seems to be a defensive liability. So every single time St. Elizabeth Technical gets something going, most times it's down that right-hand side.
Another corner for St. Elizabeth Technical, this time from the far side. Swung in dangerously. Cassandra Dixon keeps it alive. Goalkeeper McCoy watches as the ball just loops over his head and behind for a goal kick. We're approaching the half-hour mark, and it's still, we're waiting on the first goal in the first semi-final. Captain Marvel and leader of men, Cassandra Dixon, has been playing for St. Elizabeth Technical from was in the third form, and he's been captain at a very, very young age. Final year in school, and I'm sure he wants to go out with a bit of silverware. He's used to winning silverware. Hasn't got his hand on any just yet. Nice defense splitting pass here. Looking for Javed Richards. And right on him is, guess who? Guess who? Tariq Reed. Reed still with him. Getting a bit of help there as well from Williams. And they're kicking over Richards. The sets people are looking for a free kick. Calabar says no. Colin Anderson coming deep for it. Cut out there by Tajay Palmer. Ferguson. Williams didn't have control of that ball before trying to get the cross in. The ball is moving away from him, and the technique would have been to control first, or to get it under control as best as possible. He was trying to make the cross while the ball was going away and still running.
Seen a whole lot of the ball on the right side for Calabar. Thought he could have done better with that one, because he wanted that one-time opportunity. He wanted to whip it in the box, low and hard, understanding that his centre forward was there.
A tantalizing run there down the right channel by Tajay Palmer. Here's Stets, still in and around the 18-yard area. Still Stets. Ball played behind the Calabar defense. James retreating to collect. St. Elizabeth Technical, Alex Thompson decides to go for a shot. A grounder, which ran all the way and ended up in the palm of goalkeeper DeAndre McCoy from Calabar.
Intentional, but McCoy watched that all the way. Good sort of build up from Stets. I think what they're trying to do is to keep possession, keep momentum going in their favor, and Calabar takes their foot off the gas ever so often. Defensively, they seem to shut off for moments in the game, but I think it's strategic. It helps them now to catch their breaths back, and it allows for them to play that measured game. And so far, I think they've matched stride for stride the St. Elizabeth Technical team.
DeAndre Burrows has come forward to take the throw for Calabar. Brown. Colin Anderson. His opposite number, Cassandra Dixon, winning on that occasion. James coming deep. Stets forced back. Alec Thompson forced all the way back in defense. But Clifton Woodbine has absolutely no problems starting the attack once more. Here they come again, St. Elizabeth Technical. Tajay Palmer. He has seen a great deal of the football. In fact, along with Cassandra Dixon, they are the ones running the show in midfield for St. Elizabeth Technical.
Overhit pass, intentional again. Number 9 player Alex Thompson in the middle of the park, just trying to spray passes to stretch the Calabar defense, but they've responded well. They've understanding that this is exactly the game plan for Stets. I think Calabar, they've done their homework, and they're playing a very measured football game here.
Not dissimilar to what they did against Clarendon College in Moe Bay. So St. Elizabeth Technical still holding the lion's share of the ball possession percentage, but Calabar has clawed them back a bit. The last time we gave you, it was 67-33, and now it's 62-38.